It is now time for the best part of NANOC. It is the ARIN update presented by John Sweeting. He is the Chief Experience Officer at ARIN and has traveled from Chantilly, Virginia to join us today. John?
Hello, everyone. As Kate said, I'm John Sweeting. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at ARIN, at least for the next 3 days. And by that, I just mean I'm going to be going on a 5-week sabbatical starting Saturday, and it'll be back December 5th. But I did want to let everybody know that I'm not usually nervous up here, but my boss happens to be in here today, and so I'm a little nervous. I need to find the clicker and go from there. Okay, so what I'm going to be covering is the ARIN update. We'll get right into it. So where can you find ARIN here at NANOG 95? We have a customer service desk right outside the main room here. You'll find Eddie and Lisa there most of the time. You'll find Amanda, myself, Joe, Masuk, relieving them every once in a while. And you can talk to them about a whole lot of things. Tickets you have open that you maybe want to know hey, this is taking a little while, what's going on with that? You can ask them about our services, RPKI, any of the things you might have a question about ARIN. They are there to answer, and they can answer. We also have a sponsor room up on the second level, Lupine A. You'll find the same cast of characters there. We kind of exchange places every once in a while just to keep things interesting. And you can get the same answers up there, but we can go a little bit deeper up there because it's more of a private setting. And if you have something you really want to talk to us in private about, we can take care of you up there. We can log in, we can look at your tickets, we can give you answers, we can complete tickets for you that may be stuck. We can do a lot of things for you up there. Brad's also up there to provide insight into our routing security services, RPKI, the IRR, reverse DNS, all the services that ARIN provides to the community. So I did what I usually do, and I did the next slide ahead of time, so I'm going to go past that. So a little update on ARIN membership. Our total membership is 26,417 members. Of that, 24,725 are service members, and 1,692 are general members. The difference is there's not a lot of difference. Our service members, everybody's a service member. Everybody starts off as a service member. However, if you want to participate in the governance of ARIN and vote in our elections and have more say in that process, then you volunteer to become a general member, and you then are put a voting contact on your records, and then you're eligible to vote in our elections, which happen to be going on. We'll be opening up on Thursday, and I'll get more into that. We also have about 14,000 we have 14,000 customers with resources, historical resources, legacy resources that are not under a contract. So total membership, or total customers, we serve over 40,000 total customers, which is a lot. Okay, ARIN elections. For those general members and anybody else interested, why participate in ARIN elections? So as I said, for general members, primary responsibility and the primary reason to become a general member so you can participate in our elections. These are the folks that take the time to review our nominees, our candidates, and select those that they feel will be able to guide ARIN strategically into the next 4 or 5 years down the road. For anybody that is a general member and going to participate, we really encourage that you take the time, read up on them. There's bios on each of them. There's a forum for the board members that was conducted 2 weeks ago that's up, and you can watch that forum. And we're also going to have some speeches from them this week that will play at the ARIN meeting. Okay, so if you're saying, how do I know if I'm a general member? Well, here's how you know. You look at this, you go into your organization and you look to see if you have a voting contact. If you don't have a voting contact, then you probably aren't a general member, and you're not going to vote in the election because you're not part of that list that says you're eligible to vote. Okay, so elected positions, every year we go through these elections. The standard year, we have the ARIN Board of Trustees, which normally there'll be 3 full-term open seats. By full term, I mean three-year term seats open for that election. The board, of course, maintains the authority and scope over our mission, and their biggest thing is the fiduciary responsibilities of overseeing the organization. Then we have the ARIN Advisory Council, which has normal year 5 full-term open seats. For 3 years, there's 5 each year. It's a 15-member board or council. And so in any given year, there'll be at least 5 open seats. Sometimes there may be another partial seat to be open if somebody had to leave the advisory council during the year and they weren't replaced. And then we have our NRO, Number Resource Organization, Number Council, which is 3 members, but they're part of a larger global team of 15 members, which it's 3 from each of the 5 RIRs. So R3, there's 2 years where it's an elected member, and then 1 year where it's an appointed by our board. So this year is an election year, so there'll be, I believe we have like three candidates for that one position. So more on get to know the candidates. Here's how you do it. You read the How to Prepare for ARIN Elections blog. There's a nice blog that's written that'll guide you through that. Watch the board candidate forum that I mentioned that was recorded. It was live and recorded 2 weeks ago, and it's out there on our website that you can find it and review it. You can review or contribute a statement of support for a candidate, for any given candidate. There's terms of service around the statements of support. They got to be meaningful. You can't just say send in a statement of support. Oh yeah, I think Jack would be really good. It has to be substantial. There has to be something there that says I think Jack would be good because he's been a CFO for 8 years. He has very good fiduciary background, and I think he would be a great candidate for your board. So then going into the election timeline, as you can see, 30 October, which is Thursday, the voting will open for all those general members that were eligible. And by eligible, that means that on, I forget the date we pulled that. Well, we pulled a list in 45 days before the election opened up that was all the general members that were in good standing at the time, so they paid all their annual invoices, and they actually had a voting contact assigned to their organization. On 14 November, the election results will be announced. As most people realize, that usually happens before the 14th of November. We are very good at going through this, getting the board and our CEO, President and CEO, to verify the results of the elections. And as soon as they're verified and we know them, we will get them out, but no later than the 14th. And then on 1 January, the terms begin for the newly elected representatives. All right, a little bit on policy update. New policy, there's a new policy session here at that's going to be here at NANOG. I think it's Eddie Diego, our policy analyst, and Chris Woodfield, and a few other advisory council members will be presenting that session. Here, notice it says Wednesday afternoon. Well, that got moved to Wednesday morning, so I believe it's at 10:30 Wednesday morning, Amanda? Yes, all right, I hear Chris verifying yes. All right, so that session is going to be understanding ARIN policy and what it means for you. There's a lot of policy that, okay, to engineers and people running networks, policy is policy, it's admin stuff, it's not real important, it seems to them, but there are some policies that are very important to those of us running networks. So they're going to talk about that in that session, and they're actually going to bring some policies that are currently going through the process to share with the operators here at NANOG and say, hey, here's some policies we think you should be very interested in. I'm not gonna, well, maybe I am. Sorry. So these are the policies they're going to talk about. Recommended draft policies. 24-5 is a rewrite of the micro allocation policy, and 25-2 is a clarification of 851 registration services agreement. Really a small change there, just basically stating if you have an RSA, you have an RSA, and unless you change your legal entity, there's no reason to sign another RSA every time you get resources. And one other thing to talk about on the recommended draft policies. This could be the last time that they're talked about in a ARIN policy meeting because it's recommended. If there's no real dangers brought up or, hey, we don't want to do this, this is going to be bad, then it will get passed through to last call after the meeting. And then if the advisory council feels that everything's been done and it's ready to go, they'll send it off to the board of trustees to recommend it and approve it for implementation. So those are the two very important ones because they don't have to come back to another meeting after this one. These draft policies will have to come back because in the policy development process, it says that to become policy, it has to go to at least one public policy meeting as a recommended draft policy. So these are the 5 that are the draft policies we have that will be presented on Thursday during one of our policy sessions. And this is a good time to give your input. You'll be able to give input on the public policy mailing list as well up to the next meeting. You probably will see most of these become recommended or maybe abandoned before the next meeting. But this is a chance to get some input into the advisory council and help them make their decisions. All right, internet number resource updates. How ARIN promotes IPv6. So we do a lot of outreach, ARIN, as a organization. I think it's a little bit over 40 different outreach events every year. I know I go to a lot of them. And we push and promote IPv6 at every one of them. We go to the WISPAs, the FISPAs, the Internet 2s, the Little NOGs, the Albuquerque NOG, the Chicago NOG. We go to the New England Peering Forum. We go all over. We go, if you ask us to come and present and talk about IPv6, RPKI, how to use ARIN online, how to interact with ARIN to get resources, we will most likely come and talk to you there. We will try to get as many people as we can in that area, and we'll come there and talk to you and share all that information with you. So that's the way we promote IPv6. IPv6 allocations per year. As you can see, it's going up, and that's a good thing. We'd like to see it go up even more. The 2025 is a projected number, but we'll probably actually hit more than that. Okay, so IPv4 waiting list request data. So we usually give out, as you can see, we don't give out a lot. We get a lot of requests in, the list builds up, we don't have a lot of space to give out, and the list keeps building. Every once in a while, however, we come across some IPs that we're able to finally clean up, extinguish rights and stuff, and get it ready to give out. We don't give out space to the community that is really unusable. And there's a lot of things that make the space unusable. So every once in a while, though, we get to that point where these are all ready. We take them to the meeting. We all talk about them. We say, yeah, these are ready. These are clean. We can give these out to our community without fear that somebody's going to come and say, no, those were my addresses. You got to give them back, without fear that they're on the spam house block list, and that, oh, they weren't being used by Russian ISPs that get blocked in the US when you try to go to any of our financial institutions. So this last distribution we did at the 1st of October, we actually cleared 587 organizations off of our wait list. So that was good news. It's not going to happen every quarter, so don't think it is. But the point is, if you can qualify to get on the wait list, you should get on the wait list, because there's no telling when we may come across some other space that we're able to give out. Okay, so on transfers /16 equivalents recently transferred, as you can see 8.2s, there's a lot of 8.2, which is merger and acquisitions. And then transfers continue to be a really big part of ARIN's workload. We do a lot of transfers. There's a lot of transfers going on in ARIN and also between ARIN and the other RIRs. Autonomous system numbers issued by quarter. I think the one thing to notice here is it was very steady, 265, 264, 270, 222. And then we had an ASN fee harmonization started. Basically, you didn't have to pay $550 for an ASN when you got it anymore. If you had IPs, you got that ASN free. And you can see since that change happened, it's been very steady, between 380 and 400 ASNs a quarter. RPKI update. If you want to learn more, Brad Gorman is going to do a deep dive Wednesday afternoon here at NANOG, and I think it's one of the work group committee rooms, I think they call it. Not sure. But it's listed on the agenda, so and I think I heard Val say there was some seats left there, so sign up and take those seats. It's a good learning experience. You'll get introduced to our operational test and evaluation system, which is a system not a whole lot of people know about or understand. It's our production system, but in a test environment. So when you log into it, you log into it with the same credentials as you do the production system. You go to account.ote.arin.net instead just to arin.net. And you'll know that it's the evaluation because there's candy stripes on it, pink stripes across it. And you can do anything in there you want to do. You can create ROAs, you can play with ASPA because we actually have ASPA deployed in our OT&E. ASPA is, we don't use that acronym very, I think it's, say that again? Autonomous System Provider Authorization. There you go. We will be using it a lot. Brad uses it a lot more than I do, as you can tell. So you can actually play with that in our OT&E environment as well. And anything else, like you can, if you don't learn it on Wednesday, you can follow up with us and get any other information you might require, want, or need. So the RPKI adoption service type. So the good thing is it's continuing to go up. There's now 7,612 organizations using ARIN's RPKI services, 39% growth year over year. Deployment breakdown is just, we have 3 different types. We have hosted, which ARIN does everything for you. You just have to go in, log into ARIN Online and create your ROAs. And then there's the delegated, where you run your own CA and you have the authority to set up all that stuff on your own. And then there is the kind of the hybrid, where you can use ARIN's repository publication services, so you don't have to run your own repository or anything. Most people use hosted. We have a few that use delegated. We have a lot that are playing with delegated and the hybrid. So any questions on that, see Brad or come up to our room on the 2nd floor anytime the next couple of days, and we can answer your questions. So, resource origin authorization. History improvement. So there's new visibility. We have a tracker that you can easily, no, we don't have a tracker. We have history. There's history there. There didn't used to be history. You could do things, you go back and say, dang, who created that ROA? Right, Nimrod? Who created that ROA like 3 months ago using my API or whatever, and you wouldn't be able to even see that when it was created or there was just no history. We now have that history. The thing with the APIs, though, if you're sharing your API, you're still not going to know exactly who did it, but you'll know if it was done by the API or somebody logged in and did it. You can review past updates instantly without needing the contact ARIN. In the past, you had to actually open an Ask ARIN ticket or call in or do chat to find out, hey, when was this ROA created and how did it get created? Who created this? You can find all that on your own now. And then there's a feature to download a CSV report for offline review and doing any kind of analysis you want for those guys that have huge amounts of ROAs. And there's a few out there. Automatic updates. The source has the ROA, which contains resources that are transferred. So a multiple prefix ROA, and one of those prefixes gets transferred, we'll automatically re-roll that ROA and take that out. So that's a good change that helps people out. Reduce manual work, so that eliminates the need for customers to actually go in there and recreate ROAs after a transfer for the source organization, because we actually do that for you. Now, whoever gets transferred to, they're going to have to create their own ROA because they're going to be over in another org and they're not going to be able to use same certificates. So, and then increased reliability, resources stay current and valid during the operation of the transfer process. And there's a lot of transfers that happen, and there's kind of a disconnect because there's a business person that's behind the transferring and getting money for the IPs. There's engineers that are running the network that have no idea what's going on with that. And then you have the point of contacts that are managing the account, and sometimes that organization doesn't know what's going on within the organization with their IPs, and we try to help them keep track of that. So programs outreach and other updates. We have a premier support plan that gets you a dedicated account analyst, prioritized ticket, what we call white glove, prioritized ticket. You go up to the top of the queue and you submit a ticket. Customer focus group, where you get to talk to our president and CEO. And if he for some reason can't make it, then I'll be there. Usually it's both of us and a few others from the team, like Brad and Joe and Lisa. 24/7 on-call support. There's a special number that you'll get that you can call us anytime and we'll respond. And then waive transfer request fees for source transfers up to, I believe it's 10 a year. So it's a very good program. And you know, if you do a lot with ROAs and transfers and all that, it's worthwhile to look into it. We have qualified facilitators. There you see the list of 9. We've done a very deep dive on their background and history, and there's terms of agreement they sign, NDA, non-disclosure agreements with us, and they agree to treat everybody fair and to not help people commit fraud against ARIN, but actually to help us watch out for that. Let's see, ARIN Community Grant Program. We have a grant community program where ARIN board has set aside $50,000 a year that we go through, open up the grants, we go through, review them, and select the ones up to that amount to give out that year. These are the 3 that we selected this year. And then the fellowship program, which we have, how many fellows do we have here in person, Amanda? 9 in person, 17 total. So it's a very good program. I hear people come and tell me all the time what a great program it is, what a great job Amanda's doing. They do 3 or 4 virtual sessions leading up to the meeting. We take care of their NANOG fees. I think we get a special fee from NANOG for them to attend. Not very special, but it's special. It's okay. We take care of them, and we make sure that they also get a taste of NANOG in the NANOG community while they're here. Okay, I said we went to a lot of places. Here's all the places we've been this year. We still have a few more to go, but it starts to settle down around November, Thanksgiving, the holidays. But that's where we've been this year, a lot of places. And finalizing, you can register at ARIN.net, ARIN56, to join us for ARIN 56 that starts actually Wednesday evening. We have a welcome hour, and then we roll into the policy and members meeting on Thursday. There'll be a lot about the elections, a lot about the policy, and there's no fee to register for ARIN. So if you're here already and you feel like you want to go and see what an ARIN meeting looks like, feels like, then go ahead and register and hang out with us for a couple more days. We do have a social on Thursday night that is at the Cowboy Stadium. I don't know all the particulars. I do know that you'll be able to see the Dallas cheerleaders practicing on the field that night, but you're not allowed to take any videos or pictures, so help us with that. Anyway, hope that you can stay and hang out with us, and that's all I have.